here I wanted to really focus on the video mode in both cameras. On the 7D, all the video options are on this screen, which is always visible, and it makes sense because the video mode is just a rotation of a small switch up here versus rotation of a dial on the 60D. But on the 7D, the only options that you really have for video mode are the size, the movie recording image size. So you can do either 30 or 24 frame 1080p or 60 frame 720p or 640, but who cares. Sound recording, on or off. Silent shooting mode 1, 2 are disabled, and that's really for still images. Now we go in here, in the movie mode, you have to be in video on the dial, but then you have a lot more options. So first of all, movie exposure, manual or auto, so you can have full manual control on the exposure. Now you do have that on here as well, as long as you're in a manual mode on the dial, you can actually be in manual exposure on the video as well. Here you have autofocus with shutter button during the movie, and that can be enabled or disabled. Autofocus and metering button for movies, that can be changed around as well. ISO speed setting increments separate for film, so third stop or full stop. Highlight tone priority, again, separate setting for film mode versus the regular photo mode. Then you have more options. There's the movie size. Again, we have the same options for 1080p, 3024, 1280 for P60 frames per second, 480, and you also have the crop 640 mode, which enlarges the center of the image, so you get some extra zoom if all you're shooting at 640. Then we have sound recording. And that's on manual, and on the 7D, that's either on or off. On the 60D, you can have it on manual, automatic, or disabled. On manual, you can control the record level, and you also have an audio meter, and you can see that moving on the 60D down here as I'm speaking. You also have a wind filter, which is really a digital filter, so it's not going to be as good as an actual dead cat or some other type of windsock noise filter. But nonetheless, it's there. And then, again, you have sound shooting and meter timing and grid. So a lot of the same types of options that you have on here. The difference is on the 60D, there are actually differences between settings in movie mode versus the photo mode that you can control through this menu. Now, you can actually do some of this in terms of having separate settings for video and photo mode on the 7D, because you do have, as I mentioned, 3 custom settings, C1, C2, C3. So typically I would use C3 for video, C1 and 2 for photo mode. So you don't really have that much of a difference between the two cameras. You can still achieve the same thing on the 7D as the 60D. Other than the audio, that's really the big difference between the two cameras. And of course, from a useful standpoint, the ability to flip out the screen, rotate it, put it almost horizontal, so you can shoot from the hip, or rotate it the other direction, so you can actually shoot the camera over your head. Those are extremely useful, and that's something that you would not be able to do, obviously, on a camera without a rotating screen like a 7D. So those are what I sort of noticed as the main functions in terms of controls, or the main differences in terms of functions and controls in the two cameras. There are a lot of reviews talking about quality. The quality is actually extremely close because they both use the same sensor. This camera is magnesium, so it's metallic. This camera is polycarbonate, so it's a type of very sturdy plastic. So it is a little bit lighter than this camera, but potentially not quite as durable as well. I tend to change cameras every couple of years, so it's really not an issue. And if I drop the thing, they're both cheap enough that replacement is really not that outrageous either. So that's really about the summary, they both use the same lenses. In fact, one other thing they do is, let me shut them both down, they both use the same battery, which is great. So I've got the battery grip here so I can pop it out really easily. So I can take this battery right out of here, out of the 7D, and then pop that in to the battery compartment on the 60D. So at least for once, you don't have to buy all new chargers and batteries. I hope you enjoyed this comparison, and if you want to see more, certainly check out the links to more of my videos. And I also have the links to the current prices on Amazon, and that's why I'm not mentioning prices, because they tend to go up and down, especially when there's an earthquake in Japan. Hope you enjoy watching these, and we will be back for more videos.